I was at the Ham Fest this morning, and besides the Linda Ronstadt belching china box, there were some real quality vintage radios for sale. And gentleman selling these was asking $1 each. Absolutely a fair price, I guess. And so I said, well, how about for the whole box? He said, oh, give me $10. So I did, and I walked a mile with these, and here they are. So let's kind of just go through them one at a time. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. Some of this stuff I'm a fan of, and some of it's a little bit too modern for me. I like to take the portable ones camping, as you've seen in my other videos, and play with them in rural areas to see how they perform. And it's neat to listen to the news on AM at night, skip and that. So let's go through these one at a time. General Electric. Usually I thought these had a clock in them. These are kind of the 70s and 80s clock radio that everybody has had. This is a transformerless. I'm 90% sure this is a transformerless thing with probably one IC that does most everything, and probably an output transistor. Let's plug it in.
And a brochure which said actors Ray Liotta and Megan Fox were reading the script.
Of course it works. There's nothing that can really go wrong with it. Next is a Candle, AM/FM. Candle. This is one of those brands you see in the Sam's and you wonder, what? Where did this exist? And these are cool because I worked on a lot of these when I was a kid. Battery only. Made in Japan. I wonder if we can open this up and look at the inside. This is awesome. 3-band. This looks like some of those Webcore. In fact, the Webcore radios, this is interesting because this looks exactly like the Webcore. The Webcores have the Candle speaker in them. The Webcore 2448 or whatever it is, and they use these same old school 4-pin germanium transistors, just like this. This is very cool. I like this old stuff, and the early Japanese solid state stuff's pretty cool. And these germaniums, I've never seen one of these whisker out, at least the Japanese ones. These electrolytics do go bad though. These green ones, probably every single one of them is just 0. Very cool. Zenith solid state clock radio. Seems to be working. Hey, that works. That sounds pretty good. Look at that big speaker. Rattles the table. I wonder where this is made. Oh, really, you stupid camera? You like Zenith Taiwan model number. And look at this, it's got external antenna connections. Okay, next, this has that kind of 80s, early 90s Radio Shack plasticky Hong Kong feel to it, with the shiny paint. So let's see. Oh, this is a General Sound brand. TV2, let's see.
No better time to visit your local SoCal Chevy dealer for all the latest offers and details.
I wish I wasn't, but somebody has to have the guts to say it.
Have you got color in your cheek?
This has got the weather band. This does TV, so this does channel 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the weather band is down here, which we do have NOAA here. Let's see if I can get it. Don't these make great videos, watching someone dial around on an old radio? Isn't this awesome? And then, of course, the of course, there's your digital TV right there. Speaking of that, this has that Crosley feel to it. The knobs, look at that. Ooh, quality. That's awesome. Oh yeah. I think we need to take the time to open this up and see what's on the inside. General Sound brand made in Hong Kong. Gee, really? I thought it was mil-spec field equipment. Okay. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Ooh. I like how they pour wax on the circuit board. They put these little pieces of, they align it by compressing or expanding these coils, and then they stick a sponge in them and soak it with wax. Wow, this is odd. You got ICs in here. And then you got a germanium transistor right there. Look at this honkin' ferrite rod.
He was in custody at our facility.
Fullerton Police Sergeant Jeff Stewart says Melissa Lindgren teaches 8th grade at the school.
Okay, next is a General Electric clock. This appears to be AM only.
$100,000 bail. You'll get a number 18 Kentucky holding to a 62 tonight. U.S.-Mexican operation, Mexican resort of Mazatlan.
This might be worth opening up. It looks like it has one screw and then 2 little tabs. Can't remember ever seeing the inside of an AM only GE solid state radio. This has got to be as absolutely minimal as possible. Let me open this. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Look at the power output transistor down there in that heat sink. That's kind of interesting. There's a detector diode right there. Not much to it. It looks like it's 4 or 5 transistors. See, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. I see smoke coming out of it. I smell smoke too. Smoke is cool. Where is the smoke coming from? That resistor is very hot, but that resistor should be very hot, I would think. Unless these filters are... Is the smoke coming out of the speaker?
Donde no puede quedarse con ella, la Chita lo dueña y la vuelve a tener el América. Y empiezan a botarse hacia el frente Luis Gabriel Rey, Raúl Jiménez, Rubén Sambuesa, el toque por izquierda, allá viene el Ayun, entra a la zona del corredor, lo viene marcando muy bien García, mete el servicio, el cabezazo por parte del Picolín. Marco Antonio Palacio saca esa pelota de zona de riesgo, pero el América está...
How could there be smoke when there's an audio output transformer? It's not even possible for the speaker to smoke. It's totally isolated. Even if it was the primary and secondary were shorted, there wouldn't be any potential across the speaker. It'd just be one voltage. It must just be that resistor cooking the dust off. Look at this thing. Look at how kind of kludgy, big, bulky display.
Had done his homework and we had done our work.
Yeah, it looks like it's 4 transistors, converter, IF, driver, and audio out. Okay. Here's the next one, Sears Silvertone Instant Sound. And this is just a simple AM radio. I'm going to call this the Radio TV Phononet Special. And before I turn it on, Jason Cruz, you better get your wet wipes, because you're about to mess yourself when you hear... That's right, it needs new filter capacitors. Your 2 favorite things in one video, filter capacitors and Radio TV Phononet. Let's have a look at the inside. I really like how Sears always put that chassis number on the board. That was always really cool. So yeah, I just, it needs new filters. Let's see if it actually gets something. So it's working, it just... And I love how these use the big audio output transistor on the heatsink with like the 130 volt collector voltage. Alright, next on the list is a Sony super sensitive solid state. You know, they could have put super heterodyne under that. And this is AM only. And this is pretty big for an AM only radio. You know what? I think we need to open this and see what makes it super sensitive solid state. Actually, this is kind of impressive. We have a 3-gang tuning capacitor. Keep in mind, this is AM only, solid state. A 3-gang tuning capacitor. And it looks like we have 3 IF stages, too. Your detector would be here. This would be your third, your second IF stage, your first IF stage, and then your oscillator coil right there. This is kind of impressive. And I like the audio output transformers that are like sealed. This is pretty cool. And that's a fairly beefy ferrite rod, so this might actually be a super sensitive Sony solid state super heterodyne radio. Superb.
It's okay. That's really okay. If it sounds good in God's ear, that's all.
Player. But I kind of...
Too. Anyway. The fact that more Christians are having this conversation. And I hope
wow, it picks up the camera.
About this issue of plagiarism.
You will automatically, your brain will say, hey, you should wash your hands.
No, it won't. Okay, here's another one of those Sam's random radios. It's a Juliet, and it looks like it's seen better days. Wow, look at those old capacitors. Wow. Look at those, Jason. I better change those before we all die. Some foreign country might nuke us if we don't change these. Look at this one. Eastman. Eastman. That says it all right there. Let's see. Dead. Must be the electrolytics. It's always the electrolytics. Okay. Here we have a real tone Rasta radio with pretty colored tape applied by user. See if we could get some Bob Marley on this thing.
LA's alternative.
Wild Cub.
Somebody else's joint formula.
Yes, there's a renaissance. Yes.
And I
There's
think
a renaissance. You work hard to take care of me. Today.
Saturday, log on.
Absolutely love my Chevy Cruze. With the Chevy MyLink, it's not only convenient, but it's also a lot safer. I love my car so much that my fiance, when she started looking for a new car, I really encouraged her and told her that...
Sure, whatever. 60 cycles. 14 solid state devices. 9 transistors and 5 diodes. Ooh, Hong Kong. Real tone Rasta radio. It's okay. This is kind of interesting. Here's a Panasonic, and Panasonic made really good stuff. As far as like consumer grade stuff, I would consider Panasonic the best. Whether it's a Technics 1200 turntable or radios or TVs, Panasonic really, I thought, had a good reputation as far as the Japanese stuff. This is interesting because this is a AM only, kind of like the Sony super solid state sensitive super heterodyne superb. And it's dead? Yes, it appears to be dead. I better open it up and make sure the electrolytics are certifiable in this. Well, this is interesting. It's a bit more disappointing than the Sony because the Sony had at least one more IF stage. This has only got IF1 and IF2, and the converter is here. So, but this has a fairly robust bar. But it's nowhere near the... It's cool, though. Ooh, look. Speaker. All right, here's another mystery brand. Here's a Federal. And it's plugged in and the clock is not running.
The world is going deep over astaxanthin. It's 100,727. NFL people, fans too, we love to talk about distractions.
Good for you.
Premium Winnebago Tour Class A motorhomes will be sold during this event at up to $70,000. Stephon Nastic, 7.5 points.
Oh, made in Taiwan, Republic of China. Remember how everything used to say Taiwan, ROC, but then Taiwan, I think they kind of dropped that because maybe the China thing had such a bad name. I don't know. Should we open this and have a look on the inside? I think so. Now, these two wires here were sticking out the back, and this is interesting. Somebody had added a external antenna. The layout is kind of interesting here too. Everything's in straight lines, it looks like. And this is the same thing. Red is the oscillator converter coil, and then we have two IF stages. So we definitely have some ticking nuke electrolytics here that I'm sure Jason will remind me that I better change or my life will be drastically reduced. Yeah, let's listen to some more of that. Why don't you blow that stupid thing again? Alright, here's a Packard Bell. This seems pretty rare to me too. A Packard Bell AM only. Alright, come and get your cholesterol artery clogging butter dipped corn. And this is made in Japan, of course. And it looks like we have two IF stages. No, well, let's see what we got here. So there's the converter. That would be, is that an RF? Let's see, 3 IF stages. And there's the layout. So look at the weird ferrite bar setup in here. So this is fairly unique. I think it's kind of heavy, actually. It's okay, this ended up in the box. This is a Cobra Citizens Band. $1982, huh? Oh, there's the antenna. Yeah, RCA. That RCA makes a real good RF jack. Okay, this appears to be a Hitachi car radio. And guess what? It's a pull-out. Does anyone remember when CD players first came out? They had these pull-outs and you'd see people carrying these radios around the store with them like someone would steal that piece of junk. It's interesting how stuff like that was considered so valuable at one time people wouldn't even look at today. Let's open this up. It's an AM only pull-out. Well, this is kind of interesting. This looks like it has 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 IF stages, and for an AM only radio it has a 4 tuning cap tuning capacitor. So I wonder if this is the 262 kilocycle IF, and it might be because see how the converter coil is not red. So this might be. This is an interesting beast right here. And it says it works fine, and look at this, it's got a battery holder. I wonder if it was like a combo, use in the car and then pull out and take with. This is very interesting. It is a TM816U. Okay. RCA solid state. I was just having a conversation with somebody about these traditional kind of foundation American names like Crosley, Emerson, Zenith, RCA. These names being on this Chinese junk. And I'm not saying this is Chinese junk, but this is actually the old RCA Victor logo. And it's made in Hong Kong. Here's the inside. Just a little pocket transistor radio. Who knows who it's made by? Wouldn't it be something if it turned on and worked with that battery in it? No way. But hey, at least this Energizer didn't puke all over the place. Okay, let's see what we have here. This is a little no brand. Camera's starting to act up. This is a little no brand radio. And this is what, a single IF stage. Look at how they heat shrinked. And that's interesting because they used a transistor there for the detector diode, so they could probably say it had more transistors in it. Probably one lead is cut off. But yeah, this is, you can see this is red, yellow, and it looks like blue or white. And this is red, yellow, white. I guess this is red, yellow, white. This is red, yellow, white, and black. So this is, of course, and yes, these color codes do actually follow from radio to radio. This has actually got another IF stage than this. And look at, isn't this cute? One transistor, one output transistors. What color is that? Oh, that's yellow. And this one is green. So, very cool. I think my favorite might be the candle right there. And the Sony. This one right here, the super sexy, super heterodyne, solid state, super sensitive Sony. I think I might like this one. I gotta say, I am really interested in this Hitachi though, because of all of these IF stages and this rather robust output here, and this four thing. See, all of these are 2. See how these are 2? That's 2. This one's 4. I am quite interested in this. In fact, I'm so much so that I believe I'm going to power it up and see what it does. Back to this Packard Bell, I was looking at these arrows here, how the right, this, it pisses me off that this is cracked, but I believe those are the civil defense markings. Is there another one here that would have that? I don't think so. Everything else is kind of too new. But I believe those were the civil defense markings there and there.
I know you're not going to lie to me and not put your hand up because you don't want the world to know that you're mad time. You don't call it madness, but you've been upset, discouraged.
嗰啲羊肉佢哋係咪烤過㗎？
燒嘅羊肉，
即係好似嗰啲。
This is very interesting to me, this Hitachi. It says car radio on it, and it says 6 or 12 volts. And it's running on that battery pack, which obviously goes on the inside, so it must be like a pull-out. You can take it with you when you leave the car and continue to listen to the ball game. But yeah, this is very cool. I wonder, I'd really like to pull a schematic on this. Anyway, yeah. There's a bunch of radios. Okay, this has the civil defense markers on it, too. So yes, I would say that those are the civil defense markers on the Packard Bell. So, once again, thanks for watching, and more to come later.